Exclusive, a headline so explosive it sounds like fiction. Elon Musk and Eala in the same sentence. Not for a photo op, not for a casual tweet, but for a multi-million-dollar sponsorship saga that allegedly turned into something nobody in modern sports has ever witnessed. Before you scroll away, before you assume this is just another rumor wrapped in hype, pause for a second. Because what unfolded between one of the most powerful billionaires on Earth and a 20-year-old tennis star from Manila has shaken both the business world and the sports universe in ways that feel almost cinematic. On one side of this story stands a man synonymous with disruption. Rockets, electric cars, social media chaos. Wherever Elon Musk moves, headlines follow. He is unpredictable, controversial, admired, criticized, but never ignored. On the other side stands a young athlete who built her reputation not on noise, but on discipline. Not on viral moments, but on relentless work ethic. Eala, a Filipina prodigy, quietly climbed the unforgiving ladder of professional tennis while carrying the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders. To understand why this alleged sponsorship drama exploded across the internet, you first have to understand who Eala truly is. Born on May 23, 2005, in Manila, Philippines, she didn't just like tennis, she breathed it. From childhood, there was something unmistakably different about her focus. While other kids treated sports like a pastime, she treated it like a calling. Her family saw that fire early, and instead of dimming it with caution, they fueled it with sacrifice. That sacrifice led her thousands of miles away from home to train at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacar, Spain. Imagine being a teenager, leaving the comfort of your culture, your language, your family dinners, and stepping into one of the most competitive tennis environments in the world. Every practice session was a battle. Every match was a test. Homesickness was real. Pressure was constant, but quitting was never an option. And the results, they came fast. She stormed through the ITF junior circuit with authority, collecting titles and turning heads. In 2022, she made history by becoming the first Filipino to win an ITF singles title at the W25 event in Andrea, France. That wasn't just a trophy. It was a national breakthrough. Suddenly, tennis fans in the Philippines had something they had never truly experienced before, a legitimate global contender of their own. Her junior success continued when she captured a doubles title at the 2022 Australian Open Junior event. But beyond the trophies, something deeper began forming: composure. When matches tightened, she didn't unravel. When points slipped away, she recalibrated. Coaches began whispering the same phrase, champion's mentality. Transitioning from juniors to the professional tour is where many prodigies stumble. The WTA circuit is ruthless. It doesn't care about your junior resume. It doesn't offer sympathy for potential. It demands results. Physicality intensifies. Strategy sharpens. Mental pressure multiplies. Yet Alex navigated that transition with maturity far beyond her years. By 2024 and into 2025, she had broken into the WTA Top 100, a milestone that echoed across Philippine sports history. She wasn't just participating in Grand Slams anymore, she was competing, pushing established players, forcing seasoned professionals into uncomfortable battles. Each performance added weight to her growing reputation. Filipino fans, long accustomed to global boxing icons as their primary international sports heroes, found a new symbol in Eala, and their support became thunderous. Then came the twist no one expected. Reports began circulating within sports business circles that Tesla, through its marketing channels, had approached Eala's team with what insiders described as an extraordinary sponsorship offer. We're not talking about standard endorsement money. We're talking about life-altering wealth. The kind of deal that secures generational comfort. The kind agents dream about negotiating. For a 20-year-old athlete from a developing tennis nation, it sounded like destiny knocking. But here, where the narrative shifts from impressive to unbelievable. According to the viral story that set social media ablaze, Eala declined the offer. Yes, she said no. The reported reason wasn't financial negotiation tactics, it wasn't leverage, it wasn't about squeezing a better contract. It was about values. The story claims she felt that attaching her journey too tightly to a corporate machine, even one as iconic as Tesla, risked transforming her identity into a brand vehicle. She didn't want to become a logo, she wanted to remain a symbol. Critics immediately questioned the practicality. Professional tennis is brutally expensive. Coaching, travel, training teams, recovery specialists, costs pile up rapidly. Sponsorships are not luxuries, they are lifelines. Turning down such an offer, if true, seemed almost reckless. Yet supporters saw something different. They saw courage. They saw a young athlete choosing authenticity over immediate wealth. And then came the moment that allegedly shattered expectations entirely. Instead of moving on, instead of dismissing the rejection, Elon Musk reportedly responded in a way that stunned observers. Rather than insisting on branding obligations or walking away, he was said to have proposed something radically different: unconditional support. No logos, no appearances, no marketing strings attached. A philanthropic commitment, not a commercial contract. In a sports ecosystem built on transactions, this concept felt revolutionary. Billionaires don't typically invest without expecting measurable returns. Sponsorships are structured around visibility and profit. But the reported statement attributed to Musk framed his decision around admiration for Eala's integrity, supporting her mission, backing her journey on her own terms. Whether one views the story with skepticism or belief, its emotional power has been undeniable. Filipino communities worldwide erupted with pride. Tennis fans who had barely followed the WTA tour suddenly became deeply invested. Analysts debated the implications for athlete autonomy. And at the center of it all stands a young woman who continues to walk onto the court with the same quiet determination she had as a teenager in Spain. Her 2025 season has shown growth, stronger serve, smarter point construction, sharper mental resilience. She is inching closer to the sport's elite tier match by match. But the real question now hangs heavier than ever: what happens next? Because when integrity collides with power, when principle confronts money, and when a rising athlete refuses to compromise her identity, the consequences ripple far beyond a single contract. This isn't just about a sponsorship anymore. It's about redefining what support can look like in modern sport. And in part 2, we dive deeper into the aftermath, the global reaction, the emotional statements, the long-term impact on Philippine tennis, and whether this extraordinary episode could permanently reshape how athletes and billionaires interact in the future. When the dust settled from the initial shock, the real impact of the reported partnership between Elon Musk and Eala began to unfold in waves. It was no longer just a headline. It had evolved into a cultural moment, the kind that forces conversations in locker rooms, boardrooms, and living rooms all at once. Because if even half of what was being reported was true, then the traditional blueprint of athlete sponsorship had just been challenged in the most dramatic way possible. For decades, the formula has been simple. Corporations invest, athletes promote, logos appear on shirts, rackets, caps, and social feeds. Exposure translates into brand equity. It's transactional, efficient, predictable. But this situation, as described by insiders and commentators, seemed to rip that script into pieces. An athlete reportedly rejected life-changing money on principle. A billionaire allegedly responded not with ego but with admiration. That reversal alone was enough to ignite debate across every major sports platform. Tennis analysts began dissecting what this meant for the WTA landscape. Young players on the rise often feel intense pressure to secure financial backing early. The professional tour is expensive, unforgiving, and brutally competitive. Without sponsorship, even extraordinary talent can stall. Yet Eala's alleged stance reframed the conversation. What if long-term identity mattered more than short-term security? What if athletes could dictate the terms of support instead of bending to them? Filipino communities across continents reacted with emotion that went far beyond sports. From Sydney to San Francisco, from Dubai to Dublin, social feeds filled with pride. In the Philippines itself, this wasn't seen as a business story. It was seen as a defining national moment. A young woman representing the flag had reportedly chosen dignity over dollars and been rewarded with respect instead of punishment. That narrative struck a powerful chord in a country that treasures resilience and self-belief. When Alex addressed the situation publicly during interviews tied to her 2025 campaign, her tone remained steady. She didn't dwell on controversy. She redirected attention to performance. She spoke about growth, about refining her serve, about becoming more tactically disciplined in long rallies. She emphasized her gratitude towards supporters and reiterated that her mission extended beyond individual accolades. The message was clear: the court remains her priority. Her 2025 season has reflected that mindset. She has stepped onto major stages with composure that belies her age. Against higher-ranked opponents, she has shown tactical maturity, mixing depth with angle, constructing points with patience rather than impulse. Her serve, once considered a developmental area, has grown into a genuine asset under pressure. In tight third sets, she has displayed the kind of mental elasticity that separates contenders from hopefuls. Crowds have grown louder. Flags have multiplied in the stands. Fellow players have acknowledged the atmosphere surrounding her matches as something uniquely charged. She isn't just another competitor grinding through draws anymore. She's an event, a presence, a narrative unfolding in real time. Meanwhile, business experts continue analyzing the alleged philanthropic commitment attributed to Musk. If accurate, it represents a departure from traditional endorsement models. Instead of visibility clauses and promotional quotas, the support would exist to strengthen infrastructure, training, travel, grassroots programs in the Philippines. It would be less about selling vehicles and more about expanding opportunity. In theory, it could create a ripple effect far larger than a single athlete's ranking trajectory. Imagine provincial training centers receiving upgraded equipment. Imagine young players in urban neighborhoods gaining access to structured coaching pathways. Imagine a pipeline forming where once there was only isolated talent. That's the kind of long-term impact supporters envision. And Alex herself has reportedly emphasized that any support she receives should uplift the next generation. That perspective transforms the story from personal triumph to collective progress. Of course, skeptics remain. In an era dominated by viral narratives and rapid speculation, some question the details. Others debate whether such an arrangement can truly remain free of commercial undertones. Those conversations are inevitable in modern media ecosystems. But even amid uncertainty, one truth stands firm: Eala's trajectory continues upward. Every tournament she enters now carries heightened anticipation. Every draw placement sparks analysis. Can she crack the top 50? Can she sustain momentum deep into a slam? Can she translate breakthrough performances into consistent dominance? These are no longer hypothetical questions. They are realistic projections. And perhaps that is the most compelling layer of all. Strip away billionaires and business intrigue, and what remains is a 20-year-old athlete refining her craft. She still wakes before sunrise to train. She still grinds through conditioning sessions. She still studies opponents with her team. The fundamentals of greatness haven't changed. The noise around her has amplified, but her internal compass appears steady. There's something poetic about that contrast. The world debates sponsorship philosophy while she practices second serves. Commentators argue about financial models while she analyzes backhand cross-court patterns. Fame swirls, yet discipline anchors. As this chapter continues to evolve, one broader question lingers over professional sports. Are we witnessing a shift in athlete empowerment? Could this story, regardless of how every detail ultimately settles, signal a growing appetite for authenticity over obligation? Young fans resonate with principle. They reward transparency. They admire courage. If Eala's journey reinforces those values, her influence may stretch far beyond baseline rallies. For now, the scoreboard remains the ultimate judge. Rankings will rise or stall based on performance, not headlines, but momentum feels tangible. With each confident stride onto center court, she reinforces the idea that identity and ambition do not have to be mutually exclusive. In the end, what makes this saga unforgettable isn't just the involvement of one of the world's most powerful entrepreneurs. It's the image of a young Filipina athlete standing firm in her beliefs while continuing to chase excellence. Whether this partnership becomes a permanent model or a singular anomaly, it has already achieved something rare. It has inspired conversation about integrity in a system built on transactions. And as the 2025 season unfolds match by match, one thing is certain: Eala's story is far from finished. If anything, this was merely the opening act of a career that seems destined to challenge expectations, ignite national pride, and perhaps redefine what it truly means to win.